last week of November is bittersweet. We hate to see our favorite month come to an end, but while the does may be ready to congregate back on food, mature bucks can often be found cruising in these final days. If the weather cooperates, there are still good rut hunts to be had around food before the late season hits. With that in mind, I head back to the farm where the shooter now known as Splits has been seen bumping does earlier in the week.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. It's the morning of November 28th now. Back out here on the grass field after Splits. It's chilly this morning, 34, 35 degrees. Decent northwest wind, like 7 to 10 miles an hour, I think. So it's just about perfect. I wish it was clear skies, but other than that, the weather's just about right. I'm hoping to catch these deer coming out of this cut cornfield out here west of me and coming back to bed on this creek. I think we got a decent chance of seeing the shooter this morning. It's been a while since one's been daylight in here, so that dew factor's kind of setting in. I've already got a doe and a spike out here, so they're moving early this morning. Hopefully that continues. Hopefully one of the big boys makes his way by. That's our boy.
After what would be my final encounter with Splits, I try my luck on Dusty's farm, overlooking a travel corridor that links thick bedding cover with multiple cut bean fields.
As you can see, the late season is officially here. It's the evening of December 2nd. Kind of odd closing an episode out on a Monday, but I wasn't able to go yesterday afternoon. Nate and Blake are both back on regular work schedules. Dusty's bucked out, obviously. Dad's been busy at the shop, so it's kind of just been me hunting this week. And I know those guys are the ones that have tags. Blake and Nate are going to try to get out this coming weekend, so you'll get to see them again before the season wraps up here. But I'm back to a stand on Dusty's farm we call the heart attack stand, and for good reason. There's a lot of thick stuff right here, and especially when the leaves were on, they'd just be right on top of you before you could ever see them. And last time I sat here, for one thing, it was windier than all get out. I mean, it was like gusting up probably 40 miles an hour. But I was looking back behind me, and I heard something that sounded really big on the railroad tracks. And I turn around, and there's a horse walking down the railroad tracks, like, I don't know. It ended up walking right underneath me when it was on its way back, but living up to the name of the heart attack stand, I thought it was a moose coming down the tracks at me. Obviously it wasn't. But hopefully we'll have maybe a deer as big as a horse walk by today. We know there's still some shooters in here. A couple of them we've been hunting all season. One of them's a nice 10-pointer with a bunch of stickers. Another one's a bucket called a Gnarly 7. You guys saw some video of him from Dawson's youth hunt earlier this year. But I expect them to be moving early and often today with this snow coming down. I think they're going to be wanting to go out to these big bean fields, cut bean fields out here. There was actually a little buck that I think I filmed last time I was here, and a doe already out on the other side of this. They kind of bounce off into the timber when I was climbing up the stand. So I expect a good hunt tonight. Hopefully I'll at least be able to show you guys some decent deer. They've got this trail out here in front of me just absolutely beat down to where the snow's off of it, where you can see where they've been walking. And then this one right here beside me, there's a bunch of tracks in it too. So probably got like 2 inches of snow on the ground. This is the earliest I can remember it snowing on us. And I don't remember a year where the weathermen have been more consistently wrong in the predictions, because it wasn't even supposed to snow today. And we're getting more right now, as you can see. It's just been weird all year. But anyway, I think tonight's going to be a good sit. I think we got a chance to see a lot of deer. And hopefully the right one comes by. I did put some of our buck tarsal spray out here in front of me just because I have limited shooting lanes. And all the more reason for them to stop right there so I can get the camera on them. Hopefully my batteries last. It's like 25, 26 degrees. I'm already having some trouble with the GoPro, so I don't know if we'll get that thing running or not. If something comes in, hopefully we do. I'm going to mess with it here in a minute, but that's what we got going on this evening. Appreciate you guys tuning in to another episode this week. Hopefully we can close it out on a high note. Well, we had a little bit of activity there. Those does all ended up working off north over to the corner of this timber. And that buck that I saw when I first climbed up was over there with him. And another little buck was with him too. They were too far back in there for me to get any good video, but they all worked off north. Not a shooter anyway, so not like I was that disappointed. It was actually good to see some deer and a buck up on their feet early. That was about 20 minutes ago now. I got about an hour and a half left, so I'm sure they'll keep moving here. I did want to update everybody on the deer I was hunting though. I finally got on a good shooter that was in the daylight pretty regular. That split G2 buck that you guys saw on a previous episode. He was killed by the neighbors last Friday evening, I believe it was. So I saw him the Thanksgiving morning there, and then they killed him the following evening over there in the direction I saw him end up going. So won't spend any more time hunting that deer. I might hunt that farm a little bit more just because there's potentially 2 more shooters that are hanging around there. Nothing as big as that deer, but definitely mature deer, so we'll see. The plan though is going to be back to kind of early season strategy, figuring out their feeding patterns and hunting them on those, either on the food or like sitting here on the way to and from the food. Be a lot of sits at the cabin over that food plot there, over both food plots. The deer been hitting those pretty hard. Been hoping one of those mature bucks that I had on camera shows up on that food in the daylight. And then anytime Dusty wants to come out and do some hunting here, maybe we'll do some filming together too. We'll do that. He's got some good food and a lot of good cover, as you can see. So looking forward to what the late season's going to bring. But for right now, I'm going to stick in here for this last hour and a half and see what else gets to moving. I think they'll continue to move here throughout the rest of the evening. Just going to have to try to brave the cold and this wind. It's only like 10 miles an hour, but it's right in my face blowing this snow in, and it's cold. I don't know what the wind chill is. I bet it's down in the high teens. If not, it's the low 20s for sure. But that's good. Should have the deer moving. Obviously, they were up early, so usually the earlier the young bucks and the does get up, the earlier the mature bucks will be on their feet. So that's what we're hoping for. Stick with me. As you can see, the late season is officially here. The plan, though, is going to be figuring out their feeding patterns and hunting them on those, either on the food or on the way to and from the food.
With November now in the rearview mirror, the late season is upon us. Our focus will shift back to food and targeting specific bucks. Though some of them are now gone, we hope new ones will show up as our food plots become the best remaining sources of nutrition and energy. That hope will drive the final weeks of our fall pursuit.